Ah! Hi there. Scared the heck out of me. My name's Robbie Rayleigh, and welcome to Milton Mugs and More. Now, get the heck out of here, crazy sneaky camera guy. Where you live, the surface of the sun. Hey everybody, welcome back to Milton Mugs and More. This is part 3 of throwing the one-piece planter. Everything here is dried. I've got some other stuff here like these butter bells I've been working on. A few of these are orders and a few of them are going to be for sale, but they're all dried and ready to be sanded. Everything here is ready to be sanded and out the door, except for this cool guy. I just gotta show you. It's a double skull planter. It's a custom order for one of my customers. And there's one big hole in the back there. She's gonna use this for succulents of some sort. And I've sculpted some oyster mushrooms on the side, for those of you that know a little bit about wild mushrooms. Gourmet mushrooms, the ones you put in food and on pizzas, not to have fun and whatnot. There's better than store-bought mushrooms. Another one that's dried and ready. This one is dried and ready. It's had to be slow dried. Is this guy right here. It's another custom piece ordered by a fella that's on my page. Got a femur handle on it. It's half Viking, half skull, horns, just crazy cool. It took me quite a while to do this piece, and it's had to slow dry for like 2 months. Probably more than that, really. I underestimate quite a bit, but super thick, so it had to dry super slow. Just want to show you some of the stuff that I've got dried and ready. This is another piece. I make these regularly. I use sodium silicate to get this crackle effect. That'll be in later videos. I made it look like a log, so I've sculpted some mushrooms on it. These are gonna look like chicken in the woods, which is orange and yellow and really cool looking. These are already sold. The other one, it's show and tell, is this one. Another sodium silicate log type thing, but I've done oyster mushrooms on this one also because they're cool. That one's also sold. They're both sold, but like I said, I make them all the time. You can always order these from me on my group, Milton Mugs and More on Facebook. Go to groups, Milton Mugs and More. Okay, everything is ready to go outside. I'm gonna leave that double skull there uncovered today because it's not too dry, not too wet outside. I am burning a fire already. It's been 40 degrees at night here in western North Carolina. So let's head outside. This is the nerve-wracking part that makes everybody jump. Pick all these up at once. And we're here outside. I'm gonna go grab all the rest of the stuff I can fit on this table and my sanding stuff, and I'll start explaining what we're gonna be doing here. The respirator, the most important thing. I got my Terminator glasses on because it's freaking bright out here. Okay, what I want to show you what I'm doing is I'm going to go ahead and put my respirator on and see if you can hear me, because I have to deal with some dust because I want to show you. Well, I'll just show you and I'll be careful. Normally I'll do this inside, but today we've actually, like I said, we got good weather. 99% of the time you want to do this sanding stuff outside. The reason I sand my pots is because the smoother the clay body is on the outside, the smoother your glaze is going to be when the pot is completely finished. You can see, maybe you could see, it's just kind of rough. It's got a rough body on the outside here. So I'm just going to run these, I got here. I keep that, basically, this right here, this big box, it's my sanding box. It consists of a flat piece of plywood, 120 grit sandpaper that I rub the bottom of the pot on, and I'll show you that in a second. Show you these green scrubbies. This is what I use on the outside of the pot. It's fantastic. It gets them nice and smooth, but you can see that's a lot of dust. And you don't want to inhale this stuff. You don't want to go and think you're, Mr. Cool and can sand without a respirator on, because you don't want to do that. That causes, later on, it causes silicosis in your lungs. And that could pretty much kill you over time when you're older age. It's like inhaling concrete powder. You don't want to do that. It's no good, man. No good at all. I'll take this out here. I'll show you what I've got here. This piece right here. This is the 120 grit sandpaper. I'll switch this out a couple times a year. I've also got a separate piece of 120 grit sandpaper. I'm moving kind of slow because I don't want to kick up any dust. And this is, I think this is 80 grit. I use this only on the bottoms, like the skull mug I showed you just a second ago, the Viking skull mug. I'll use that on the bottom of that because it's pretty dang rough, and I'll sit here all day just sanding and sanding on the bottom with 120 grit sandpaper. So I use 80, then I go with 120, then I use the green scrubbies, and that smooths it out completely. Also got a separate needle tool here. I've been using this for about 11 years. I don't know how the heck it's still intact. It's slightly bent, but I scratch in my signature on the bottom of the pot, every single one of them. I've probably easily signed my name over 1 million times. I know some people use stamps while the clay's wet, but I don't. I hand sign everyone. I hand sand everyone. So obviously I threw everyone. I trim everyone. you've seen most of all the steps. This is getting closer to the final step of loading it into the kiln, which is in the shed right beside me. But I'm not going to pan to it because got a bunch of lawn equipment out here, wheelbarrow and a lawn roller. All right, so I'm going to get my respirator on and I'll start showing you some stuff in just a second here. Well, how about that? Well, I'll just go ahead and put it on. When you get your respirator, normally you want to keep your respirator in a bag, grocery bag, plastic bag from the grocery store. Look inside these little flaps. Anytime you put this mask on, look inside the flaps. If this has been sitting in the studio in a bag, you can have a little critter in there. Last thing you want to do is put this on and have a little spider running around your friggin' mouth. That'd be no fun. Or a piece of dust or a piece of paper. You got to breathe in and inhale it. These are your filters on the outside. I know most people know what this stuff is. But with the filters like these could use replacing. You want to replace your filters at least 2 to 4 times a year, just so you're not breathing in this junk. I can only use this thing for about an hour and a half at a time. It kills my lungs. I've got asthma. Blah, blah, blah. Let's go ahead and stick this thing on and I'll show you what to do. Try not to drop it in the dirt because I'm outside. Move my Terminator glasses real quick. Okay, let's get started if you can hear me. Alrighty. Take all this stuff out. Now I'm going to do something real quick. This has got a load of powder in it. You see all that powder, all the dust. I got a little bucket in my kiln shed here. I'm going to grab that and I'll be right back. I'm back. All right, what I got here is just a bucket of powder. And I use this to put down on my kiln shelves when I'm bisque firing large plates or a real tall heavy vase. Because in the firing, your pot is going to basically do this. It's going to go back and forth and flux, and this powder allows it to move without the bottom sticking, which will cause a crack in the center, or an S-crack, or as in my previous videos, little monkey dancing around with his bare hiney. Okay, I gotta breathe. So you can see, this respirator frickin' kills me. Especially when you're outside, it's kind of hot now. All right. I'll set that down. And dump that in there. You can see how dusty this stuff is. I don't normally do all this unloading in the house. It'll go all over the house. It's on your shoes, it's on the doors, it's in the air, it's everywhere. Do not do this in your house. Only time I do it in my house, I've got a fan pointing outwards and it's usually raining or snowing. All right. Down here. Lay that down. And sandpaper is down. Scrubbies are ready. I could really use a new one, but this is fairly new. It's nothing you want to breathe in, man. Now let me show you what I'm gonna do. Okie dokie. Got my sandpaper here. I'm gonna get my first pot, which is one of the smaller ones I have. I'm gonna show you what we do here. This is one of the first ones I threw. Dried, ready to go. Ready to clean up. Stick it down there. Just start doing like that. Hopefully you can see where this is flat, and where it's not scratched up is a surface that's not flat. You keep doing it till it's all flat. And while doing this, if you break a pot, it's okay. All right, that's good. There. We got it sanding here. The green scrubby will smooth it out and get rid of all the scratches that the sandpaper causes. If I don't get rid of them all, it's really not that big of a deal. That's the neat thing about ceramics, is it's gonna look handmade. If there's some scratches on the bottom, don't freak out. It's okay. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And I'll do the rest of the pot. Generally get off anything that kind of stands out. Shoot up my bugs. Another important reason of doing this is when you sell this to somebody, if you don't sand it and they go and stick their hand in here and they cut themselves, you're going to have a problem. Once you fire these pots and there's glaze on them, if there's a sharp area, it's going to be like glass, broken sharp glass. So if you don't get all the super sharp spots off, you're going to have a customer being like, what the heck? I cut myself on your pot. And now I'm mad. Get the rim. Well, it's nice out here, but it's yellow jacket season. We're nearing fall and they're mad. Okay. Now I'm gonna scratch in my Milton Mugs and More. And I date them, every one. Okay, I'm gonna do this in high speed again. Getting on them energy drinks. I'm kidding, I don't drink that crap. But we're gonna go high speed. This is gonna be probably an hour and a half, at least, of doing all this stuff. And then I gotta bring that custom piece out and do that. That's gonna take a lot of time. So we're just gonna speed things up with my camera magic. And by the way, I just like to say, I got my camera recording on its side now, so you can turn your phone on its side and get a better wide shot, a bigger shot. It's more screen side to side, and you can see a lot more. Something new I'm trying. So
I'm gonna start tacking faster. Let's get this done.
show you guys something real quick. I was sanding this pot and I heard, or I felt on my hand, just a tiny little kind of a thump. And what that means is I've broken the dang pot. I squeezed it too hard somewhere, and I know it's broken on here somewhere, so I'm going to gently pull on this. There it is. Boom. It happens. That's what happens. I done broke the pot. Oh well. And now from here, just gonna beat it up. Pick up these two pieces right here. Check that and that. That could sit there, and that'll be put in my reclaimed bucket of water and other shenanigans.
All right, that's it. Right now, here we go.
Okay, and we are done sanding. I gotta take this thing off. Holy heck. Whew. That's the last one of the butter bells. It's not gonna fit on here. Everything's sanded up. Next stage is we'll be going to the bisque firing. I'm gonna load all this into a bisque firing. I've got one more piece to sand, possibly two. I got a big bowl and a custom pirate mug. All that sanding, only broke one. That's why when you have somebody put in a special order for anything, if they are ordering two, make 6, 8, 10 of them. You know, at least you got a chance for the two the person wants coming out good, and the rest of them you can put up for sale. Or if a couple of them foul out, you'll at least get 2 out of what you're doing. The fact that broke's no big deal. Don't worry about pots that break when you're sanding. They're gonna go right back into the reclaimed bucket. It's all good, no big deal at all. I'm gonna take a little lunch break, because it went from being 40 degrees this morning to dang near 90. And the bugs are killing me. So, it's lunch time. bunch and everything is sanded. I had a couple other pieces, like these planters here. Forgot I had to sand these. Got these sanded up. They're both good. Along with this gigantic bowl that hopefully I can fit in this firing. If I can, I'll have to do it the next firing. Because when I do firings like this, first firing, which is called the bisque firing, when I've got one of these big pieces in like this is really thick, and I have to go really slow with a bisque in order to not blow it up. Because if you fire too fast, you'll blow your piece up. It'll just explode. So this is probably going to be like a 24 to 26 hour firing to make the temperature go up real slow and down real slow to get it to 1800 degrees, which gets the clay hard enough to glaze. I sanded the bottom of this one and I sanded the inside a little bit. Any details like other sanding I need to do, bugs, I'm going to do it after the bisque firing, just so I don't end up breaking anything, along with underglaze and all that other stuff. I'm going to do that after bisque firing so I don't risk breaking anything, because right now it's pretty fragile. I came close to screwing something up on the back, but that's life. Everything's good. From here, we are going to go over to the kiln. And so let's go. This is the kiln. Benja, take a little look there. That is a programmable kiln. It's electric. Most all potters use electric kilns. Some people use gas kilns. Some people use wood fire kilns. Just preference of how you like to fire. I'm going to try to get all this stuff in there. So let's get to stacking. Let's sucker up. All right, I've got the first layer on the bottom, and you can see I've got all these butter bells in there. You don't got to worry about, like I said, you don't got to worry about anything touching. I'm going to go ahead and move this post there, just because you don't want the post, right up against your pot too much. That's the first layer. I'm going to put down a shelf. We're going to do it over and over and over again. And I'm going to cram as much as I possibly can in here, because it's just the bisque firing. I'll show you real quick. Use a piece of cardboard, how to clean yourself off. Just like that. Never use your hand to scrape a shelf clean. If there is one tiny little chunk of post or old pot, you just slice your hand wide open. It's like dragging it over a broken piece of glass. So we're going to put this guy in here. I think. All right, what I've decided to do is make this a little lighter load than I really like. But on this last shelf here, I've put down 4 posts. Let me drag you over. I put down 4 posts because this last shelf I'm going to put on, it's going to hold one really important piece and these other 2 pieces that are all sold. Let's get this on. I've done this 4 times now, and frankly about wanted to chuck a couple of my posts out into the woods because it gets a little frustrating because they kept wobbling and wobbling and wobbling. You don't want your kiln shelf wobbling. Especially when you have a $400 mug on top. All right, I'm going to go ahead and check the program on this. Like I said before, we'll go through programming and all that in a whole separate video. So, review program. Everything's looking good. Doing a super slow firing on this. Review program on here just shows me what I just programmed in. And I like to do that before I go ahead and hit start. Because if you screw up and you set your bisque kiln to a glazed kiln, you just ruined about a couple $1,000 worth of stuff. Going through the checks. Everything checks out. Burr, burr, burr. Error code is on. Okay, and now we're gonna hit start. Boom, it's on. This kiln is going, and now I get to try to go hang out. It's burger time. All right, kiln's going. Everything's done for the day. It's barbecue time.
Burger time.
Medium light there. See, this is the other thing I do in my life. We make dinner, and this is the end of the day. This is what we do. So if we're making dinner, I'll see you later.